Hello and welcome back to the Toast and Tea Book Club, where we talk about books and complain about bad writing, and then complain about our own bad writing. Uh, I'm David, also known as the Toast Wizard, Toast Wiz. This is my friend Michaela.
Yep, Michaela or Tia Animations, as I'm on my other channel.
And today we're going to talk about the second in the Infernal Devices series. Last time we talked about Clockwork Angel. Today we're going to talk about Clockwork Prince, and how the story evolves from here, and how this one, the love triangle actually starts, and it gets wild.
Hoo boy. Yeah, well, we're gonna have to see, how well they do, considering how much I know you love triangles.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, you can't even deny it. Look at our current
I
campaign.
do love triangles, and at the same, on one hand, I am a proponent that love triangles can always be resolved with polyamory, but at the same time, I have written myself into a love triangle, in the current campaign where it cannot be solved with polyamory.
I
I mean,
mean,
it could, but I don't think that makes sense for the character.
can't believe you've done this. I can't believe that technically we've had two separate love triangles in mind, and one is being solved with polyamory. So it's more of a triangle. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's
So,
get into it. I can't wait to see what other weird things are gonna make you pause to have a whole off tangent discussion again.
mhm. So remember at the end of the last book, Will had gone to Magnus for help, and I revealed that he was looking for a way to not be in love. That was his whole thing. So they opened this one. Will is currently running some errands for Magnus, picking up ingredients, and one of the ingredients he's picking up, he has to go to a ghost drug dealer.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we have now confirmed ghosts
this
are
world,
part of the.
there are ghosts. This particular ghost, Old Molly, like all ghosts, they require a talisman in order to pass on. Basically, like, what I don't actually understand the mechanics of what makes a ghost, other than they are missing their talisman. I don't know. It's really not explained very well. However, I really like Molly the character because Molly's talisman is her wedding ring. But she lost it in the River Thames.
Okay.
So what she does is she will trade magical components to anyone who can bring her wedding rings, hoping that she'll find her own. So Will brings like a whole sack of wedding rings. And it doesn't say. He just has a bag of wedding rings that she like sifts through and decides. He's a child, so not great. I think he's 17 right now, so I don't think he has like income. He honestly, it might have been like Magnus might have got him for him, because he was doing the delivery. But yeah, so Molly gives him the ingredients in exchange for the rings. Molly can't find her rings. It's fine. But then before he leaves, Will asks Molly about the anti-love potion, and Molly's like, just be an ass. That'll do it.
I mean, to be fair, that you'd think that would work, but
You'd think it would, but it consistently doesn't work for him.
Well, not only that, but I mean, just look at real life. How many times have you met someone where, why are you with that person? They're awful, and they're like, they'll change. They won't.
So we cut over to Tess and Charlotte. They're at a Shadowhunter council meeting, explaining what happened with the attack and with the Institute and about Mortmain. As the meeting is about to conclude, in walks, or not in walks, he's on the council. One of the Shadowhunters, Benedict Lightwood, who is high and mighty, I'm better than you kind of vibes.
Okay.
He stands up and says, I challenge you. He doesn't. He challenges Charlotte's leadership of the Institute, saying that you're just a naive woman who let a monster just deceive you like this. It's kind of revealed that.
Okay, so we got misogyny.
to be fair, it is the 1800s. The Lightwoods and also like it seems a lot of other shadow hunters are kind of question Charlotte's running the leadership of the institute. I don't know if it's revealed in this book, but it is revealed that basically her and Henry's marriage was arranged because Henry basically there's no way they would let a single woman shadow hunter run the institute, and Henry's family previously ran it, so that it made more sense for the two of them to inherit the thing rather than it being given to someone else. So that the only way that the Charlotte could actually run it is if she married Henry.
Okay.
It's also kind of glossed over a little bit, but it's shown every once in a while that Charlotte and Henry's relationship is kind of, I wouldn't say strained, but there's no other better way to put this. Henry is 100% autistic, in the sense that like he doesn't super emote the way most people think he would, and also he like has like lots of special interests when it comes to machinery, and so Charlotte feels bad a little bit because she feels like she's using him, but at the same time, like this is probably the best situation for him as well, because like he doesn't seem super interested in anything other than machines. It's a little sad, and it's a little bit like, oh no, what's going on here? Like this feels bad, but it also is like a, you know, a little bit interesting there. So Lightwood challenges Charlotte's command of the Institute. The council leader, Josiah Wayland, who also was a family friend of the Fairchilds, decides, you know what, Charlotte gets 2 weeks to track down Mortmain, but if she fails, Lightwood gets to take over the Institute. And later,
that's a fast turn.
Later, privately, Josiah explains to Charlotte that he couldn't outright reject the challenge, and the 2 weeks was about the best he could do. Like he really is rooting for Charlotte, but it's kind of just like his hands were tied because it's the middle of a council meeting.
Yeah. Okay.
There's politics. Everyone agrees to this 2 week kind of like, you know, find Mortmain or, you know, lose the Institute. Even like Benedict is kind of like, you know, I'll help. Like I want the Institute to be run correctly. If that is you, then we'll figure it out. But if it's not, I'm going to take over. So in the meantime, Benedict offers his sons, Gabriel and Gideon, to come and train, over the training for Jessamine, Tessa, and Sophie, along with some new staff members because their last staff members died.
Yeah, because
except for Sophie.
That's true.
Yeah, because Sophie's scar makes her main character material.
Yeah, you know, you can't do anything to the scarred one, or else, you know, you lose all relevant. I can speak words.
Everyone says to work. Jem goes to check on the reparation archives, which is apparently a record of all the complaints against Nephilim.
Okay.
I downloaded those. Yeah, it's a thing apparently. Tessa joins him so that she won't be alone with Will. Will goes to Magnus's place, where he finally tells. Okay, he doesn't tell him quite yet, but yeah, Magnus basically he basically tells Magnus what's going on and like how about the curse, and then Magnus is apparently summoning demons, trying to find the one that cursed Will, so that they can undo the curse, is the idea.
Okay. I love the light pause there where you're like summoning demons to find the cursed Will, but it's just like, yeah, you're summoning demons. I was like, yeah, that's a very Magnus thing. You got to realize that this is for me as well, because as a heat of the Magnus archives, Magnus and Fair are major players in series.
Really?
Yeah, the Fairchild
thing
is a huge thing. And so it's just these names. I'm just here like I have to like put in my head these are different.
Is that purely a coincidence, I wonder?
I don't know. I don't know if the Fairchild is like was a big thing in England, if there is like some form of like historical Fairchild family that they're both based off of.
Huh.
I know Magnus is a reference to a like series, but it's just like
Well, we'll
it's
have
just
to
a
see if
very
any
funny.
other names pop up. So,
Because-
later on, we randomly cut to Sophie's perspective, which
Mhm.
is a new one. I don't think we've had Sophie's perspective at all. Uh,
Okay.
Sophie is noticing that Jem is interested in Tess, uh, and is a little bit jealous because she likes Jem.
Mhm.
But then gets distracted because she sees Jessamine leaving her room in men's clothing. Frilly girly Jessamine is dressed as a man leaving the institute.
Oh snap.
This will be mildly important later. All right.
Okay.
So next day, Jem, Tess, and Sophie attend the Lightwoods training session. Basically, they're gonna start training everyone more intensely about being shadow hunters and all the skills and sword fighting that goes along with that. And they're designed to train Tessa as well, which
Mhm.
is
Hey,
really useful,
finally our
honestly, because
girl.
like, yeah, she's gonna learn how to sword fight. It'll be good. Um, at the training session, we meet the new staff members. Specifically, we meet Bridget, who is a very Scottish cook. Um,
Yes. New
uh,
favorite character.
and then we also meet Cyril, who is Thomas's brother. Uh, Thomas, the one who died first last book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, friend, is this a family trait?
I don't think so. Yeah. The Bridget and Thomas, they start sparring. It turns out Bridget is a little bit of a badass and is able to actually pin Gabriel.
Yes.
As that's fun.
Wait, hold on. Is this Gabriel as in Bible Gabriel? I'm trying to remember because I know
No,
Jonathan
this is Gabriel Lightwood, Benedict's
Lightwood.
son.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
No,
You
it is
understand
not the
my
Archangel.
viewpoint. You
Yeah.
understand why I
There,
have to
yeah, yeah. There will be more biblical references in people's names. Um,
excellent.
so at dinner, Charlotte
Mhm.
presents her findings from the reparations log. So basically, after Jem and Tess, like brought it up and tried to help, Charlotte dove into the reparations logs more. Apparently, Axel Mortmain was the adoptive son of two warlocks, Thaddeus and Anne Shade, who they were apparently killed by Shadowhunters for possessing the Book of the White, and dabbling in dark magic using the spells in that book to bind souls to automatons. So this whole in-soul automaton thing has been going on for a while, apparently.
Okay, so we're making Warforge.
Yes.
Okay.
So apparently
Interesting.
Mortmain submitted a reparation, but was rejected because, actually, we don't find out yet. We don't find out yet. uh, the reparation request was rejected, but it was denied. In order to find out why, we have to talk to the leader of the York Institute, Aloysius Starkweather, who because the reparations request was submitted to the York Institute when that happened.
Mhm.
So Charlotte writes a letter to Aloysius, not expecting a lot back because apparently there is some bad blood between the Starkweathers and the Fairchilds.
Oh.
Yeah. Later, I told you we get into some love triangle stuff. Tess in the library, and Will approaches, and they talk about books for a bit. And he talks about Tale of Two Cities, which happens to be one of Tess's favorite books. Out of
It
curiosity,
cannot
have you?
be. It can't. I hate that book. I hate that so much. How dare that be favorite book? I'm sorry. Five Jacques speaking to each other and it just using Jacques in that scene. I hate that book. I had to read that for school at like 10 years old and that was a crime. I hate that book. Ugh. Ugh.
He subtly implies that he feels like Sydney Carton, and that Tessa is Lucy, and that he doesn't say it outright, but it is implied that he feels like uh as much as he wants to be with Tess, he feels like he can't because it's best for Tess. It's uh, yeah, it's rough.
Okay.
um,
Wait, now hold on. I
but
thought the
like
whole thing was he needs to be a jerk. He suddenly being like, we can.
he can't help it. He loves her.
Oh, pish. He's known her for like a week.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah. So, uh,
Children.
they have a little bit of a nice moment. It's interesting. It's fine. The next day, Aloysius writes back, and just straight up denies Charlotte access to the info. So Tess, Will, and Jem decide to travel to the York Institute and acquire something of Aloysius's so that Tess can change into him to get the info. Um, then that's gonna happen the next day. So after some more, like, another day of training,
Mhm.
Tessa finds a gift at her door. A little book called Varthek by William Beckford. And on the inside cover, Will has written a funny poem. I don't have the actual poem here, but apparently it was funny. So, like, again, Will can't help being, like, a little nice. And this is where I get really frustrated with Will, because he can't. He either needs to commit to the bit or abandon it entirely. He like, there's this middle ground, wishy-washy, like, will he, won't he, is really frustrating to me.
Dude, it's not just over here. Like, you have been told to do what you need to want to put a danger because of the supposed curse on you, which at this point, I'm not even fully convinced is real. Gotta be real here. I'm not convinced he was actually cursed. Something that, like, Amasea did a thing and there's gonna be some prophecy. That's what I'm expecting is going to happen here. But, man, if you are actually trying to just commit to the bit, take yourself away from the situation, or just don't interact with her. Just
Yeah.
stonewall something.
Yeah, that'd be better.
Ugh.
So the next day, Tess, Jem, and Will depart for York on the train, from King's Cross, of course, because they have to, mention landmarks.
Of
Um,
course, yeah.
while on the train, the group are talking about Tess's cover because she can't claim to be a shadow hunter because she has no Steely marks. So, like, they gotta figure out a way that they can explain why she's there too. So they decide, uh, Tess will be Jem's mundane fiance who is seeking ascension. Ascension?
Mm.
I hear you ask. What is this? Apparently, normal people can become shadow hunters by drinking from an artifact known as the Mortal Cup.
The Mortal Cup.
Apparently, yes, the Mortal Cup is one of the mortal instruments given to Jonathan Shadowhunter by the angel Raziel.
Sorry, I forgot about Jonathan Shadowhunter. I need a moment. It just gets me every time. Okay, I'm sorry. I get that the book series is called The Mortal Instruments. I understand.
No,
But the
no.
Mortal
This is
Cup?
called the Infernal Devices. The Mortal Instruments is a different series that she wrote.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it's the same
But it's like
author.
it's the same world, yeah.
Okay. Um okay, but I'm sorry. The Mortal Instruments. Okay, that's a name for the collection. I'm all called the Mortals. Is it the Mortal
Let me look this up
Cup
because
Lance and the Mortal Sword or like that? Because that will be too much for me. I'm sorry. Like, you've given things actually decent
okay,
names half the time in this book. Just commit to one or the other.
I just looked it up. So apparently, yeah, the Archangel Raziel gave Jonathan Shadowhunter the 3 mortal instruments.
Mm-hmm.
They were the Mortal Cup for him to drink and become a Nephilim. The Mortal Sword. Which
David,
does
I
Mortal
was
Sword do?
joking. I was joking.
Um.
Wait, it's the shield. The shield has to be the
Uh.
last one. It's not a lance. It's got to be the mortal shield or something like that, right?
The well, the last one is called the Mortal Mirror.
Same diff.
Or otherwise known as the
Okay.
Mortal Glass. Um. So the Mortal Sword, what it does is it compels Nephilim to speak the truth. It, basically, like,
David, is it a fire sword? Please tell me. Is
No.
this supposed to be... Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is this the Garden of Eden fire sword? Because that would
No.
be, like, top tier hilarious. Okay, fine.
No, it's depicted as just like a solid blade with wings for a hilt. Like actual feathered wings as the hilt.
David, I have a we join forces and we sword and you use it as a prop in videos or something because that would be hilarious. No, I just realized con appearance and you could go as Jonathan Shadowhunter. I'm having too much fun with this. The Mortal Cup. She wants to drink
let me
from
see. Now I gotta see.
Cup.
Hold on. What's the mortal mirror do? Wait, no. The mortal mirror isn't even an object. It's a lake.
What?
It's an actual like lake of water called the Mortal Glass that is apparently poisonous to Nephilim, has no effect on downworlders. Fairies can drink it and give them true vision. But the Nephilim specifically, it gives them hallucinations and drives them to madness. What's the point of this thing?
Yeah, okay.
Also, how did the angel Raziel give Jonathan Shadowhunter a lake?
Listen, man, he's got to give people a lake. What do you mean? I'm sorry. It started with a moment of being like, well, now that I had a brief moment of being like, now that's an actual interesting idea. It's a location. Maybe there's something for them that, no, it's poisonous. What's the point? Why would he give him this?
Okay, so apparently the lake was like a byproduct because when Azrael or when Raziel was summoned at that lake, it cursed the lake.
Wait, what? So the angel is summoned and it curses what? The angel causes a curse to form by being summoned.
Okay, so the Lake Lynn was said to be the lake where
summon demons.
So Lake Lynn was said to be the lake from which Raziel rose, holding his cup and his sword to be given to a new race of warriors created. Since Raziel's summoning at the lake, it has been said to have been cursed. Which series is this part of? Like, okay. You know what? Okay, it looks like it shows up in okay. Okay, it shows up in the Mortal Instruments series, which is I think was the first series that she wrote. So, okay, I guess I'll have to read the Mortal Instruments then, even though there's six books and graphic novels. Great, all right.
Hey,
that'll be fun.
We get more content. Okay, I get to find out more about this wacky.
This
Bible
universe is
fiction.
wild. Yeah.
You know what? I'm good with this though because I need to understand what this author was doing. Like, did she take shrooms and read just about Jonathan?
I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so that's Tessa's cover, is that she is Jem's mundane fiance who is seeking ascension.
So wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Wasn't it that how did they find out again? Was it just like they had a sense that she had this other warlock power, a sense, or was it just that because she can shapeshift, they know?
Because she can shapeshift, they think she's a warlock because that's the only type of creature that's had a similar power before. To be fair, the way that she shapeshifts is not the way that warlocks can shapeshift. So it's a little weird still. They don't know what she is.
Okay, but it's in the room and they could tell. Okay. So it's not like in some things where like one magic kind of sense another.
No. Physically speaking, she looks and for all intents and purposes is a normal human.
Mm-hmm.
But it's complicated. So as part of this ruse, Jem gives Tess his family ring to wear, right? So she looks the part.
Wait, this is Molly's ring.
I don't
I
think
bet you
so.
right now. No?
I don't know if Molly ever reappears.
I steal that ring. He's like, oh, look, a wedding ring. Gotta take this and add it. Wait,
really? I don't remember if she ever does. Like, it feels bad, but I do think that this was a one-off character. She might show up in another book series, but I don't think that she shows up again in this one.
But I want more of wedding ring ghost.
I
That's
know
not,
it's a
you
dope
got
concept.
attached.
That's another thing that I feel that not Sophie Collins. What am I talking about? Sorry. I feel like Cassandra Clare has a problem that a lot of fantasy authors have, where they write something really cool, but then it doesn't come up again because it's not relevant to the rest of the story. Like, this is one of my biggest problems with J.K. Rowling, besides like for her writing specifically. For her public thing, I have way more problems with her. But for her, specifically for her writing,
Yeah, I mean,
it frustrates me to
yeah.
no end how every single book has new and unique magic that never appears again. You know, like there's some really cool concept that she creates, and like I have to give her credit that she can write cool magic. She just can't figure a way that it makes sense in the rest of her series. It frustrates me to no end, and like it was the thing that I kept coming back to when Sarah was having me read through the books. But yeah, I feel like Cassandra Clare falls into a similar trap of, hey, this is a cool thing that fits with the vibe, and like there's this cool ghost that's not important ever again.
It feels like it was explaining the Twilight series to me and how like every other backstory was so much more interesting than dealing with Bella, Edward, and Jake. That it was like,
Yeah.
why didn't you write about these characters?
Yeah. I yeah.
Oh man,
Although
I'm so sad. I'm so sad now, David. We had a wedding roll up in this series again directly afterwards. It feels like such a oh go, we're gonna find out there's some connection between Molly and Jem's family. But no.
No, I'm pretty sure that I don't know if it's established, but it's pretty much like confirmed that Molly's ring is somewhere at the bottom of the Thames and it will never be found.
So sad.
Yeah. So we get to the Orc Institute. Tessa cosplaying as Jem's fiance. Aloysius is for some reason startled to see Tessa and thinks he recognizes her, but then gets distracted and dismisses that feeling. So that's some weird foreshadowing. Aloysius tells the three the info thereafter, just like straight up, like, yeah, I didn't want to talk to Charlotte, but I'll tell you. Basically, explains Mortmain's plea was rejected because the incident took place before the laws were written, basically. So like apparently before there was the Accords, the Shadowhunters were kind of just like a band of unorganized like vigilantes. And the Accords were basically the Accords were basically like, hey, you guys are killing a bunch of downworlders who may or may not actually be guilty. So why don't we like make it a little bit more organized, it's a bit more fair, and we can maybe like work together a little bit, and this will be fine. So they came with the Accords, but apparently the deaths of Mortmain's parents was before the Accords, and so because it was it didn't grandfather in the responsibility, which is a little shitty, I think.
Yeah, just a little. I mean,
and like it makes you think,
I know this happens.
It's a point for Mortmain. Not enough points, but it's a point. But also, Aloysius also reveals to them Mortmain's old address, and so that maybe they can investigate that if they want to. And then we get to a little scene where Aloysius shows the three his trophy room.
Oh, that's always a bad sign.
Is full of the mummified bodies, skulls, and fairy wings, eyeballs, and jars of blood, all of which were harvested from the bodies of downworlders that him and his family killed.
You know, I was about to make a joke before you got to the end of that. It's like, oh, is this my house, my collectibles? My random jars of teeth I have? No, also I need humanely sourced animal teeth. Don't worry about it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Human
Tess
trophy room.
Is so
okay. Young adult novel.
Tess is so Yeah. Tess is so disgusted that she faints.
As you did.
Yeah. So Tess wakes up from a nightmare. Apparently she got moved to a bed after she fainted, and apparently in that nightmare she had cried out. So Will rushes in and tries to comfort her. Tess immediately like thinking back to the last time like there was like a comfort situation and how cruel Will was, uh,
Mhm.
is not happy about it. Will then tries to kiss her, and then she like pushes him away and asks him to leave.
Yeah, yeah, as you do, girl. Like, listen, don't let this man decide that be comforting randomly been a jerk. Like,
Also,
nah.
Will's just fully abandoning his bit, I guess.
Yeah, okay, is he it has a decision?
I
Is he
don't
decided?
know. It's about to get more complicated.
Oh,
So next day, they go to
lovely.
check on Mortmain's old address. When they arrive, they spot a girl walking into the house, who Will recognizes as Cicely, Will's younger sister. Uh, they sneak up to the house and they see that the whole Herondale family is in this house. But then they get accosted by an automaton who they manage to defeat it, but after it dies, it plays them a message that's Mortmain's voice saying, "Leave my past buried, or else the Herondales will pay the price." So Mortmain's captured, or not cap. It's ambiguous at this point, but has captured Will's family as like a, hey, stop it, don't investigate me. It'll end badly.
It will time.
No. Only Will's older sister died.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
the demon only poisoned Will's older sister.
Right. Okay. I'm following.
All right, so they catch the train back to London. Will's upset. Uh, Jess reveals that she managed to snag one of Aloysius's buttons in case they want to get more information about what Aloysius knows. So
Mhm.
she can change into him now. Apparently, it's not explained why he does this, but for some reason, Jem blurts out that the Carstairs family ring looks good on Tess.
Listen,
Uh,
Gem is just being around. Listen,
yeah.
sometimes you gotta point out that like, hey, my just good on you. That sort of thing. Like,
Yeah,
listen.
so Tess blushes. Yeah, Tess blushes, and then Will like huddles up to a smaller ball and gets colder. Uh, is a little dejected about this.
Listen, but what we don't realize is it's not because, it's not because of Tess, it's because he wanted to wear the ring. Let's be real. Not the whole partner thing. Totally platonic.
A little
Totally
bit, yeah.
platonic.
All right. So we get back to London. Uh, Will dashes off to see Magnus. And so Jem and Tess go back to the institute. Uh, this is actually where Will finally tells Magnus what the demon is, why he's looking for a demon, and
Hmm.
what's going on. I don't know why Magnus agreed to help him
Okay.
before if he didn't tell him, but whatever. Um,
Listen, fine. Gotta help his bro out.
Yeah. This is also where he explains that like uh the reason why he's okay with being friends and being so close with Jem is because Jem's dying anyway, maybe from maybe if it's Will's curse, then maybe it'll be a swift and like good death rather than the slow painful one that Jem's gonna have anyway.
Totally
Um
platonic.
you say
I
that, but literally in the same paragraph, Will calls Jem his only sin. The words he used. He calls Jem his only sin.
Okay. And we're saying polyamory wasn't gonna work in this.
It only doesn't work because of Jem's sickness. That's quite literally the only thing that it'll come. It'll be important.
Okay.
So back in the institute, everyone's worried about Will. Charlotte tells Tessa about the time that apparently Will's parents came to the institute to beg Will to return, and Will didn't even he refused to even come to the door, and then he just asked
Mhm.
Charlotte to don't tell him anything unless his parents die. And then he wants to know if they die.
Mhm.
Apparently Charlotte had asked someone to keep an eye on the Herondales.
Yeah.
And then she informs Jem and Tess that apparently Will's father lost their house to gambling years after Will joined the Shadowhunter. Everyone has a gambling problem in this universe, apparently.
I mean, again, it's 1800s. Everybody be gambling.
But after that happened, the person she asked lost track of the Herondales. Yeah, so
because of course they did.
Carm, stop yelling. All right. So Charlotte decides that the best solution regarding Mortmain is to have Tessa do the change in Aloysius, see if there's anything worth can get. Okay. So I'm gonna read here. So Tessa attempts to change, but realizes that Aloysius is no longer mentally competent. Like he's starting to lose his mind, and so it's really difficult to get any of his memories.
Hold on. Hold on. Since when is she able to do people's memories through becoming that? When was that established?
That was actually established in the very first time that she changed. Is that they asked her what she knows, or to look into the memories of the person that she changed into, because she gets their memories and skills.
About why should it matter going crazy to also dig through the memories of someone who's dead? Because their brain
I don't know.
Working. Did you know about that? Because
I hadn't thought about that. No.
What?
Maybe it's because I don't know that all right.
Not to break the plot here. Questions. Just like why does it matter now if we know that she's get this information works?
You know what? Maybe the magic is inconsistent. That's or maybe they wanted an explanation of why they couldn't immediately get the information. I don't know. Anyway, Carm, stop it. Next day, more training with Gabriel, and there's a bit of an argument going on, and then apparently the Lightwoods, especially the Lightwood boys, hate Will a lot.
Okay.
Tess asks why, and Gabriel storms out. Gideon, on the other hand, is apparently giving a lot of attention to Sophie, and Sophie seems comfortable with it. So Tess says, I wonder. So that's something going on.
Sophie, I thought you were after Jem.
I think it's good that they gave her a secondary love interest to make it so that it doesn't seem like she just gave up on Jem.
Okay.
So then Tess gets a letter from Magnus, and Magnus is worried about Will because Will is kind of self-sabotaging himself into oblivion. Tess shows that letter to Jem, and Jem, both of them investigate Will's room, find the letters that Tess had written to Nate when she was in the dark place that never got delivered. So he's clearly still very interested in her, even if he says otherwise. Also, they found a receipt for the demon poison that he has to buy, that Will buys for Jem, and finds that it's a lot more expensive than he let Jem know.
I'm trying to remember, what was the demon poison for?
So Jem, when he was younger, his parents pissed off a demon really bad.
Yeah, and he's slowly dying.
He's slowly dying because his body is addicted to a poison that's also killing him.
That's right, it's the addiction to the poison.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So we once again see the fact that Will and Jem are in love, no matter what they say. Yes. Okay.
So they can't find Will, so they decide to use a tracking rune, which is the thing. Something that's it hasn't come up. It has come up, but I haven't brought it up just because it's a little bit else important. The shadow hunters have actual magic that they can use in the form of runes and it is just runes actually. Basically, they have these magic I think I always view them as magic X-Acto knives that they can draw runes with, and then those runes have have power.
Okay. Magic X-Acto knives, I like it.
Yeah. And so they're able to track down Will, find out that he's in some downworld or drug den.
Okay.
On the way, so they get in the carriage, go get Will. Jem does a classic cute thing, and in Mandarin, tells Tessa that she's beautiful, but she doesn't understand because she doesn't understand Mandarin.
So I have a question for how this is written. Is it literally written in Mandarin, or do they just
Let me double check. I think I think if I remember correctly, it's written in the English pronunciation of the Mandarin words.
Okay, so the phonetic.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Fair. I like that a little bit.
It's kind of cute. So they get up, they get to the den, they find Will hopped up on drugs. They drag him out to the carriage, and then Jem goes back to pay his tab. And Jem is clearly very pissed off that Will would do this.
How dare he get drunk without me?
More of a
more high.
It's more of a how dare he treat this as some indulgence when this is literally what's killing me kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right. They get back to the place. Jess is trying to calm Jem down, and because Jem is really mad about this. Eventually Jem finally says that he feels like Tess only sees him as someone to take care of and not an actual man. Tess tries to dissuade him of this, and then they finally kiss. We're gonna finally get a kiss between Jem and Tess, and it's great. They're making out for a while. Tess accidentally knocks his box of demon poison off the bedside table, spilling on the floor, and then Jem, very embarrassed, just asks Tess to leave while he cleans up the drugs.
Oh no, my drugs!
It's more of he's embarrassed that he has to have them, and just it kind of ruined the mood, and he's like, that's fine.
Bye. I get you.
On her way back to her room, she spots Jessamine leaving the Institute again, dressed as a man. So this is the second time we've seen this.
Yes.
At breakfast, Will announces to the whole group that he was getting high last night. But while he was doing so, he overheard that the demon poison that Jem needs is currently being bought in high quantities by werewolves, who apparently they can use it as a stimulant. And they've been doing so to work overtime for the Magister.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Charlotte sends for a man called Woosley Scott, who is the London werewolf pack leader. Woosley.
I'm sorry, he's Woosley, the werewolf pack leader?
Yes.
That's great.
It is.
Let me just... Woosley. How long do you think the author sat there and was like, how can I name this man? And just, Woosley. This either was the first draft name that she just threw together and forgot to change, or she just really was like, this is such a good...
All right, so later, after another round of training, Tess tells Will off for being considerate to Jem. Will seems sorry, and then tries to tell Tess that while people think he doesn't care, he actually does. He's actually just a little baby.
It's just a baby.
He does care. Then we get a short little scene where Gideon asks Sophie out. Finally, so we got that going.
Cute.
Then we get a scene later. Tess can't sleep because remember we're in Victorian London, and so she thinks, oh no, the reason why Jem asked me to leave because he thinks I'm a floozy because I was so easy to kiss him.
No, not again, David, why?
Yeah, but that's interrupted because Sophie knocks on the door and shows Tess an invitation to a masked ball that she found in Jessamine's room, handwritten by Nate, Tess's brother. Jessamine had walked in on Sophie while she was holding the invitation because she was cleaning the room because she's a maid. That's what she does. Became irate, and then Sophie just knocked her out with a hand mirror.
All right. Get it, Sophie.
Yeah. So, for some reason, I can't understand why, the two of them decide that Will is the person they're going to trust with this information and get to help them.
Why Will?
Will, who has been consistently mean to Sophie, and also has been kind of a jerk to Tess, too.
Yeah, I have questions for this author.
Yeah.
I just want to talk.
The three of them decide that Will and Tessa will attend the ball. Tessa will change to look like Jessamine. Hopefully they can get some information out of this. Also, they find out, looking at the information, that this ball is being hosted by Benedict Lightwood, who is the Gideon's father, who is also trying to take over the Institute.
Okay.
On the way there, Tess gets Will to finally tell her why the Lightwoods hate him. Because like something that's come up a little bit, I don't think I've mentioned as much, is that both Gideon and Gabriel hate Will a lot.
I wonder why.
Oh, there's a specific reason.
They need a specific reason? I could give you many reasons.
Apparently, when they were younger, there was this girl, what was her name? What was her name? Tatiana Blackthorn. She was madly in love with Will, and he could not be dissuaded. And so you know what Will decides to do? He finds her diary and starts reading it aloud at the Shadowhunter Christmas party.
Dear Reddit, me, Will, a 18-year-old male, accidentally read my coworker's diary aloud at the Christmas party. Am I the asshole?
Yeah. This pissed off Gabriel and Gideon. They fought. Basically, Gabriel and Will started fighting, and then Will broke Gabriel's hand. So there's understandably some resentment.
Yes, but man, can we just? I get what we're going for with. I understand to a degree, and maybe if I was currently like 13, I would be like, oh, he's so dark and brooding.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, as an adult,
he's just being a child.
He's just a brat. Like,
yeah,
this is like. Listen, man, you need to take this one around back. Just deal with it. Yeah. It's too far gone. You can't fix this one anymore.
Also, on this carriage ride to the ball, Tessa gets curious about her lineage for some reason, and then asks if half demon, half Shadowhunter children are a thing. Because like clearly she's a warlock because she has the abilities, but if something's going on weird, and Will responds that all recorded attempts have between a demon and a Shadowhunter have resulted in a stillborn. So clearly,
I wonder what she could be. I wonder what she is. Oh no! I wonder.
At the party, Tessa is dancing with Nate, who decides to drop the whole plot on her. Including that
and Tessa disguised as
Jessamine.
Yes.
Yeah. Drops the whole plot. Apparently Jessamine had planted the Book of the White, which is that super powerful magic book that Mortmain had a while back. Specifically, it's the book that got his parents killed for having it.
Okay.
So that book has been planted in Tessa's bedroom. As a way to implicate her and trying to get her kicked out of the Institute. Is the whole thing is because like as soon as Tessa's not under the Institute's protection, she is free game for Mortmain. Also, something interesting that happens at this party. Benedict Lightwood is there, right?
Yeah.
He's getting all frisky with a whole ass demon lady.
Oh.
Who Nate kind of. I don't know. I don't know the actual tone he used, but Nate refers to that demon lady as Benedict's wife.
Oh,
this is a problem because Shadowhunters are not supposed to cavort with demons at all. This is
man, dude. Can I be real here?
Yeah.
Why does this feel like Warrior Cats all over again? There's one rule when it comes to romance. What is everybody doing? We all gotta break. We all gotta.
Yeah. Nate gets pulled away, apparently receiving a letter from the Magister. And then we're a fairy named Hyacinth. So this world also has fairies.
Okay, this is our first introduction to fairies.
Yes, fairies are the result of direct hybrids of angels and demons.
So they're the result of the forbidden romance.
Yes, absolutely. I think according to the wiki, almost all modern fairies are descendants of other fairies. So like there hasn't been any new fairies in a long time.
Okay.
But yeah, that's apparently a thing with fairies. And also interesting is that as soon as Hyacinth approaches, she immediately asks Tessa, who still disguises Jessamine, if she's Elizabeth Grey's daughter, who is Elizabeth is Tessa's mom.
Oh.
Apparently, Hyacinth knew Tessa's mom well. It's not explained how. It's just they knew each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can it just see through the disguise?
Evidently.
Okay.
Yeah. Fairy magic is not very well explained. There's a lot of stuff going on with it. Yeah, at least in this book series, fairies just aren't explored very much.
Mhm.
I have learned that actually though, like because like this author has like one universe that she writes in.
Yeah.
This is like one of like 18 books in the whole universe across like different time periods and such.
Oh.
So I assume it comes up more than the other ones because the wiki had way too many entries for just this. Either way, Will appears saying that he arranged that letter to distract Nate and pulls Tessa away to get some fresh air on the balcony. Tessa reverts back to normal because she's just tired. And then she and Will start making out.
No! Tessa! Stop it!
Magnus shows up and reveals that the lemonade they drank at the party was spiked, and they had roofied themselves. And that's why they're making out.
Plausible deniability.
Also, just like, I don't know if this is like if this is more common than I realized, because like this also came up in Sarah's book recently. Why is roofing so popular when it comes to like forcing like weird romance things?
You know, I wonder about this because like, is this some like
Because specifically
because it's such an issue in the world?
Yeah.
Like trying to desensitize from it?
I don't know. Because like specifically it says that the specific spike or specific poison that was used in the lemonade lowers inhibitions. That's all it does. And so
it's more of a
it's
not quite a roofie, because a roofie would be that they would not
right.
remember anything.
It's more of they got very drunk very fast.
Yeah.
So that's lovely. That's complicated, but it's fine. So they decide they're gonna leave. They got the information they need. As they're getting into the carriage, Will spots a blue demon, who apparently resembles the one who cursed him. So he decides to do a racism and chases after it. Magnus convinces Tess that Will be fine, and then she returns to the Institute by herself.
Okay.
Tess fills in Sophie, and then Sophie goes to alert Charlotte. Tess goes to check on Jessamine, who wakes up. Jess swears that Nate loves her, and then Tess tries to refute, like, I know better than anyone that Nate only loves himself. This pisses off Jessamine profusely, who loudly proclaims that she hopes that Mortmain kills all Shadowhunters. Jessamine is in the deep end.
Well.
Yeah.
Oh,
At that moment, Charlotte walks in, followed by Brother Enoch, who heard Jessamine say that. So Brother Enoch shows up with the Mortal Sword, which, if you remember, is one of those items that is weirdly powerful and can make Shadowhunters always tell the truth. Very convenient. So under the influence of the Mortal Sword, Jess reveals that she had only met with Nate a few times. He proposed on their second meeting, and they are currently married. So she's in real deep with them.
Oh, honey.
Additionally, Benedict Lightwood is currently helping Mortmain because Mortmain is blackmailing him.
Mm-hmm.
Still curious about stuff. Tess asks if Jessamine knows anything about her bio parents, and apparently Jessamine knows this. Apparently, Tessa's mother was a Shadowhunter, and her father was a demon. 2 chapters later, huh? We reveal it.
What?
Who would have guessed?
Oh no! Could have.
But how is that possible?
Also, why does she know this? How does she know? Is it assumed that Nate knows? Does that also mean that Nate is half?
It's assumed that Nate knows, and assumed that Mortmain knows. It'll be revealed way later exactly why.
Is Nate also like half blood? I guess
he is not. Nate is 100% human.
So he's not her brother.
That'll also be revealed later. Jessamine can't tell them anymore, though, however, because Mortmain put a magical block in her brain that prevents her from telling Mortmain's secrets. So, because like the Mortal Sword only stops them from telling lies. The block prevents her from telling specifically the secrets.
Okay, that's fine. Okay,
yeah.
accept that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Will gets to Magnus's house. Apparently the demon is the one who cursed him. but he got away. It did bite him though and break off a tooth in the process. So Will tries to get Magnus to use the tooth to summon the demon, but he passes out because of the poisonous bite of that demon, and he just collapses on Magnus's floor because he's so good at taking care of himself.
He's great at it. Don't worry.
All right. Next morning, everyone's brought up to speed. They all agree to keep what they know close to the chest for now because they don't want to play their hand too early. Jem and Tessa decide to go to visit Jessamine so that they can convince her to write a letter to Nate to get a meeting set up so they can maybe like get Nate too. Is the idea. Cut to Sophie and Gideon meeting up for their planned date. Sophie is not super thrilled with Gideon, given that his father was, and actually, I forgot to mention, Gideon was also at the party, because it had to be because his father was. So Sophie's not super happy that Gideon was like a part of all this. Gideon tries to explain that his father forced him to be there, and that his father's actions disgusted him. And basically like trying to like, I really don't want to be a part of that family anymore, kind of thing. They end up settling on just a walk for their date, so it's recovered, it's saved, we're good. They get a meeting set up with Nate at a tea warehouse. This is important for some reason, I don't remember exactly why. But the whole crew are in on this one. When they arrive, there is just a werewolf dying of the demon poison. It demands more of it and then dies. It is kind of just thrown away. I'm not sure why it's here, but they just kind of throw that away. Charlotte gets sick because of this and decides to run downstairs because it'll be important.
It'll be important later.
Nate shows up.
Master tool.
Yeah. Nate shows up. Tess tries to pretend to be Jessamine, but apparently Nate knew it was Tess as soon as he received that fake letter at the ball. So this is all a trap. Then now we get the reveal that Nate's not even her brother. He's actually her cousin.
Oh, no.
Apparently, Nate was actually Aunt Harriet's biological son, but because he was going to be born out of wedlock, Tessa's mom took in Nate so that Aunt Harriet would like save her reputation. And then Aunt Harriet's fiance died, so yeah, she has all that going for her. Aunt Harriet did not have a great life.
No.
Yeah. After that reveal, he reveals a giant automaton that came here to kill everybody. And then he orders the automaton. The automaton is revealed holding Charlotte's unconscious body in one clawed hand, and then Tess orders the robots to drop Charlotte and crush her. To which Henry gets super mad and goes goes a little berserk on the thing. Gets himself injured in the process. This is important because up until now, it's kind of, did I explain Henry and Charlotte's relationship very well?
Remind me, just in case.
So Henry and Charlotte are married, but it's kind of been implied up to this point that it was a marriage of convenience. Basically, Charlotte was close family friends with the Fairchilds, Henry's family, and Henry's dad really wanted Charlotte to run the institute because he saw great potential in her. The problem is, women can't do that in Victorian London.
Yes, that's right.
So in order to run the institute, she would need to be married. And the best bet for that would be his son,
very autistic husband.
A very autistic Henry.
Yes.
And it's kind of been assumed it's kind of been assumed that it was just convenience and they didn't really have any feeling for each other. And it was just kind of like, she is multiple times to herself felt bad that he doesn't get to like find someone who actually loves him, kind of thing. Or someone that he loves is more what it means.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, back to this fight. The automaton is overpowering the hunters because it's just that strong. Then Tess has a big brain moment, transforms into Nate, and as Nate commands the automaton to grab the real Nate. Because apparently the automaton it's just voice coded, I guess. It doesn't actually care like if there are two of those masters around. That turns the tide of this, and then that distraction gives Will enough time to slap a new one of Henry's new inventions onto the automaton, which turns out to be a rudimentary EMP. So then Will dives at Tessa as the automaton just explodes. Nate, so Nate, as he was in the claw, gets fatally wounded. Tessa only manages minor injuries, but Will gets grievously wounded as he took the blast for Tessa. Tess tries to save Nate, but there's too much. There's nothing he can do. But then she sees Will, who is not doing great. Jem explains how bad the injuries are, and then points out that Tessa also has a pretty bad wound on her head. Tessa succumbs to shock at that time and then faints. So
yeah, why'd you tell her about the wound? Let her have her like main character moment of being like, "Oh, I'm fine, and then once we've settled everything, then they faint because of their.
All right. So Tessa slipping out of consciousness. Now we get to some weird stuff. I don't know where this comes from. Like,
oh no.
They introduced new powers for Tessa in a way that doesn't quite make sense.
I'm ready.
So as Tessa is in and out of consciousness in a delusional fever, she ends up talking to her Aunt Harriet's soul.
What?
And Aunt Harriet says that she regrets that she had to give up Nate and wonders if things would have been different if she hadn't. This is an actual conversation with Aunt Harriet's soul. As far as the text reads, it is actually her soul.
Oh.
And then another new power. She just astral projects out of her unconscious body and is able to observe the world around her.
Okay.
So
that's fine. That's fine.
So she's kind of floating around as a ghost. No one can see her, but she can like hear things. She overhears Charlotte being super worried because she's sure she's going to lose the Institute now. And Henry is also super upset that his device hurt Will and Tessa. And so that's not going great. Then, to help her heal, they decide to move Tessa to the Silent City, where the Silent Brothers are from.
Mm-hmm.
That also happens to be where Jessamine is. And so, as she's astral projecting around the Silent City now, she finds Jessamine, who is trying to carve her initials into the wall of her cell with her ring, right? Her wedding ring.
Yeah.
The ring, the gemstone breaks because Nate gave her a glass ring.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, so Jessamine is irreconcilable after that.
This is beautiful. I get it.
Yeah. Then Jess's body wakes up for a minute, just long enough to see that apparently Will has recovered enough to be walking around, and then she passes out again. That's important for some reason.
It's just so that we as the audience know. Don't worry, your favorite jerk is still alive.
So we cut back to Will's perspective. Will goes to see Magnus, hoping that after the day he won't have to push Tessa away anymore because he really wants to be with Tessa, but he can't because of the curse. And he hopes if he can get the curse lifted, it does not be a problem anymore. Right? So Magnus used the tooth, summons the great demon Marbus, which is the demon that cursed him. Will starts questioning him, and then Marbus eventually recognizes Will, recalling and repeating the curse, and then Will asks Marbus to lift it, but they refuse. They were apparently in the Pixis for 20 years, and so Will should be cursed for just as long, at least. That's the reasoning there.
Okay.
Will is about to start just attacking Marbus to try and get him to do it anyway, when Magnus interrupts and says that the curse story sounds a bit odd, given that if Marbus was in the Pixis for 20 years, he should have been extremely weak right after he was released. Too weak to cast a curse as powerful and as subtle as the one on Will. Was I
right all along?
Marbus tries to deny this, and then Magnus invokes his father's name to give an incentive to Marbus to tell the truth. Apparently, we find out Magnus's father is the demon Asmodeus. Like the name demon Asmodeus.
Asmodeus?
The Asmodeus is Magnus's father.
The embodiment of lust.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So Marbus decides, fine, I'll tell the truth, that the curse was never real, and that the sister died because she was hit by Marbus's stinger, and she died from the poison, not from the curse. Will is understandably shaken by this, and so Magnus decides to immolate Marbus.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I just, again, Probably just because you're reiterating this story to me, and I am no longer a 13-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if that was not yeah, of course the curse isn't real. We all know that's where this is going.
Mm-hmm. Back at the Institute, Charlotte's writing her letter of resignation. When Henry walks in, reads the letter, and is very shocked, like, hey, no, we were out doing this. The two have a very long, delayed conversation about their marriage, and reveal they actually both do love each other. Turns out the marriage was real the whole time.
Horrible.
Then Will comes in looking for Tessa, reads the letter, just says, hey, Charlotte, stop doing that. We're going to fix this out. He then proposed that they get all the evidence to expose Benedict to the clave. Then, before he leaves to find Tessa, he lets Charlotte and Henry know how grateful he is for everything they've done. So,
oh no,
yeah, of course. No. As soon as it's apparently he was a good boy the whole time. He just had to be a bad boy for the curse reasons, but the curse isn't real, so he can be a good boy again. This is important.
Yeah.
But now, for the most unfortunate timing of the entire series, we cut to Tessa in her room. Jem knocks and enters. He starts talking about how close the deadline is and how the Lightwoods will probably let him and Will stay, but they'll probably kick out Tessa because she's a downworlder. Tessa says she'll be okay, not to worry. And then Jem blurts out that he loves her and asks her to marry him.
Okay, I get that this is like 1800s England, but oh boy. Also, though, of course, this is exactly when Will walks in, because now we have to make Jem and Will fight, because the boys have been too good.
Not quite yet.
Oh no.
So Tessa is shocked. Says that Jem will get kicked out of the clave because, again, you're not supposed to associate with downworlders. But Jem says that because Tessa is a very special situation, the clave would consider the situation for at least 3 months. During that time, they can remain engaged. And so, like, this is like a dual purpose. One, he actually wants to marry her and he loves her. Two, if he does this, they can't kick her out.
Okay.
So Jem gives Tessa
marriage of convenience.
Yeah, a little bit, maybe. No, they actually do love each other. It's good. No,
that's true. But it's just also a marriage of convenience.
Yeah. So Jem gives Tessa his mother's jade pendant, as like a sign of affection, and then she agrees to the marriage, and then it sounds good. Everyone arrives at the meeting with Charlotte to discuss the game plan. So basically all they need to do is prove that Benedict is unfit to run the Institute. Sophie then reveals that she learned from Gideon that Benedict has demon pox, which is apparently a demon STD. So it is definitive proof that he's been gallivanting with demons.
Slut shame him and reveal that he is fornicating with the demons.
And apparently the way Mortmain has been blackmailing him is by basically he's his supplier for the medicine he needs to keep it under control.
Isn't Mortmain dead now? Isn't that the one that...
No, Mortmain's
sorry.
Mortmain's still around.
I'm mixing up the one that cursed Will.
No, yeah.
What was their name?
Marbus.
Why are they all M's?
I don't know. At that moment, Jem runs out of the room and returns with the death report of Benedict Lightwood's late wife, who supposedly had committed suicide due to the grief of her brother's death. However, the autopsy recorded a rash on her shoulder that was identified as demon pox. So in actuality, she may have actually killed herself when she realized her husband gave her the disease, and then Benedict covered it up.
Hey, okay. No words. I have no words for this YA novel that is now dealing with STDs and suicide because the fact of okay.
Yep. They decide they're going to blackmail Benedict themselves, as the clave would see Benedict's wife's death as actually a murder via demonic means, because Benedict's the one that put his wife in danger, and then so it would be on him. Is like it's a whole thing. The clave's law system is a little weird sometimes.
Wait, why would they need to blackmail him? Just reveal that information.
No, they're blackmailing him because if they get him to revoke his claim to the Institute, then that
Mhm.
gets them home free, and they don't have to deal with anything else, and they can keep that blackmail on him if they need it for the future.
Okay.
Um,
Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand now.
So everyone starts preparing. They're gonna go confront Benedict. Will pulls Tessa aside to talk, but Tessa convinces him that whatever it is can wait until afterwards.
Mhm.
Then Charlotte, Tessa, and Will ride to Benedict's house. They make their demands, and during the confrontation, when the demon pox is revealed, Gideon doesn't look surprised, as you'd expect, and Benedict calls him out as a traitor because he immediately puts together that Gideon's the one who told. And Gideon responds by throwing his family ring at Benedict and leaving with Charlotte.
Oh.
Back at the Institute, Will pulls Tessa into a drawing room and starts kissing her. She pushes him away. Will explains the curse that he loves her. And then Tessa tells him that she's engaged to Jem now. Will is devastated, but accepts it and leaves. So he actually he accepts it and he leaves. But it's just like, man, this is the worst timing in the entire series.
The best timing, really.
Honestly, for how it works out, I think it is, yeah. So there's another council meeting with the Clave. Benedict retracts his claim to the Institute. Everything's all good. The council is then attacked by large beetle-like automatons sent by Mortsbane to spy on the proceedings. They attack and then get away, and then Tessa managed to capture one for Henry to study.
Mhm.
Then we're back at the Institute. We're having the celebratory dinner. Everything's won. Jem announces him and Tessa's engagement. Charlotte takes. Sorry, I forgot this happened. Charlotte takes the chance to announce that she's pregnant.
Oh.
Either
This
that
could
was
only end well.
either that was really quick, or that was like another convenience thing. We'll see. And then the last little twist of the book is that everyone's celebrating. Then Will's sister shows up at the Institute asking to be trained as a shadow hunter.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
A dead sister?
No, this is the younger sister.
Oh, okay.
Will had two sisters.
Okay.
And that's where this book wraps up. It's a very much Empire Strikes Back kind of ending. But
beautiful. I can't wait for the next one. I need to know how many conveniences and inconveniences happen at this point.
Yeah, no, next book's gonna be a trip.
Like this one wasn't?
It accelerates.
A little afraid at this point. Oh.
Well, that brings us to the end of our book review. Now we'll jump into our writing workshop section. I believe you have some writing you want to share.
Yeah.
I'm still behind, so I don't have anything to share this week. Just because I have so many things going on with work, I just have barely any time to write.
It's all good. We can just start with my fan fiction, and also as a additional thing that I might start working on here is I've been brainstorming some horror short stories that I'm thinking of recording for my own channel. So I might do test runs of them here before making full audio recordings of them. But I don't have any of those ready yet. So I sent you the invite and the link to my Google Drive here for my TMNT fan project. And okay, so we have to decide, because technically they do run into it with my first one here. Maybe some backstory here a little bit
that'd be good.
beforehand. So basically what's happening here is going to be, I'm currently working on kind of character introspectives, kind of to set up how I want the characters to interact with each other before writing just kind of a main story. And because of Elliot, this now, instead of taking place in New York, is entirely in Tokyo. Because he was like, you love Japan and you've been there, and you could just base it off areas you've been. And I was like, desperately trying to come up with ways to make that work. And I think I have, but yeah, so this first one, I'll probably just go over this one first. And if you could just help me find anything that doesn't make sense, or if there's any... I had issues of... I was writing this over several days on my phone, and I kept changing tense. So just let me know if there's... I'll probably just read this aloud here. So this first one is Keishiro Casey Yamada meets a kappa. Alright. The Sumida River was unusually low for the springtime. It had been warmer than usual, and with the rainy season not for a few more months, the river had receded far into its bed. The streets were quiet, as the residents had mostly retreated indoors, working peacefully through. The silence was only broken by the sound of children's laughter, as a group had climbed down onto the dried riverbed. A young boy, maybe 8 years of age, was chasing after the rest as they traversed the muddy terrain. His black hair shined under the afternoon sun, and his tan skin was tinged pink from the rays. His cheeks, speckled with dark freckles, a sign of his mixed heritage. Sabokatsu no kao! The sing-song chant echoed from the children ahead, as the teasing statement continued. Freckleface, Spots, and other such nicknames had followed the child since he first began his school. He huffed in frustration and anger, but followed after the children. He could prove to them that he was just as good as they were. He was better. He just knew it. He was braver, not to mention faster. He had won the race at the first sports day, thank you much. Sobukatsu no kao. Why did it matter that he had freckles? Why did it matter that his mother was from another land? He was just as Japanese as the rest of them. He was born here, raised here. He grew up right alongside them. As he began to catch up with them, fuming, he missed the sudden cutoff of the singing taunts. He was so focused on reaching the oldest boy, Tanaka, that he almost ran face first into his back. Coming back to himself before following his gaze to the far wall of the river. They had made it under one of the bridges that connected the sides of the Sumida, and there, in the wall that was normally filled with rushing water, was a tunnel. It appeared to be a sewer tunnel, or perhaps a water main, large enough for someone to walk through. In the shadow of the bridge, it appeared to still be a little damp, unable to evaporate in the shade. The children were mesmerized by the sudden entrance, and an air of anticipation filled the area. "Where do you think it goes?" whispered Mahito, a tall, thin boy. No one seemed to have an answer for him, though. No one seemed too keen on approaching it either. It seemed to loom there, menacing and alluring at once. "Do you think something lives in there?" Hikaru asked, nervously leaning forward, as though he would be able to see it from the dark. "I bet that's where the kappa go to hide when the river's low," stated Tanaka, crossing his arms and eyeing the tunnel. This statement seemed to make the children collectively more nervous. Now that the creature's name is spoken, it made it more real. That some turtle creature was sure to live deep within the tunnel, ready to feast upon unruly children. Little did they know that's true. "That's stupid," a voice behind Tanaka remarked. "Kappa aren't real." The children turned to look at the freckled boy. He crossed his arms and looked up at Tanaka defiantly. He looked as though he was daring them to disagree. Kappa were a fairy tale, a creature to force manners upon children. The boy looked to the tunnel, seemingly unimpressed. "I bet there's nothing in there. Not even a little frog would live there." "Oh, is that so, Keishiro?" Tanaka spoke, while he looked down his nose at the freckled child. "If that's the case, then you won't mind checking it out for us, right?" The older boy smirked down at Keishiro. Keishiro, for his part, had met the gaze defiantly, his own heart beating fast. While he wasn't afraid of some dumb story, he didn't really want to go exploring the creepy tunnel. "Why would I do that? It's just a boring old sewer tunnel." "Come on, Sobakasu. Are you scared?" The taunt was a familiar one to Keishiro. Everyone knew he couldn't back down from a challenge. Being scared wasn't in Keishiro. Impulsiveness, on the other hand, flowed through him with abundance. The boy glared up at Tanaka, looking as though he may throw a punch, before he turned from the boy, staring down the tunnel. He blew out a breath again into his bangs before he marched forward. The mouth of the tunnel loomed over him, and for a brief moment, fear lanced through him. Keishiro glanced back at the boys, all of them grinning deviously at him. Jeers and chants followed him, and not one to back down, he began to climb into the tunnel. It was dark within. A damp smell filled the air. Keishiro wrinkled his nose at the smell, but began making his way forward. The dark seemed to stretch on forever, but as he took small steps, Keishiro began to feel more confident. Just as he thought, it was just a dumb, dirty sewer tunnel. Nothing to be afraid of. He turned back to the boys, walking backwards as he threw back taunts. How they were all scared for no reason, how he's clearly the bravest among them, how he's the only one willing to do something so bold. But as he said these, neglected to spare a glance towards his footsteps. As he got ready to claim his victory over the boys, he felt the world disappear from below him. The children at the entrance were gone in a trace as Keishiro fell. Air rushed past him rapidly, and a loud sound hurt his ears. It took a moment to realize it was his own screaming. The rest of the air was stolen from him as he impacted into the water below. The crash, along with the freezing cold, jolted him sharply, causing his vision to blur as he sluggishly struggled. But as his vision began to fade, he could see a large shape within the water. His last thought was that of the mythical Kappa as his mind left him and he slipped into unconsciousness. Oh man, I forgot how much I wrote in this.
Yeah, it looks like you got 10 pages here, right?
Yeah.
Oof.
Let's see, we'll keep going. I got this. Pain was the first thing Keishiro became aware of as consciousness returned to him. His lungs wheezed as they rapidly took in oxygen. He turned his body onto his side as coughs and gasps ravaged his body. His mind desperately began to address his situation. His back ached heavily, definitely bruised, but he was able to move, so that means no breaks. His right arm, on the other hand, was limp and radiated pain. Any movement he tried to make with it merely caused a slight jolt followed by burning pain. So definitely broken. Cuts and scrapes littered his body, and as his breath returned to normal, he tried to take in his surroundings. Some light was filtering in from above. He thought it was from a few street grates. Sewer grates would be the better way to put that. The room he's in was entirely concrete, raised slightly above a pool of reserved water. He could see the tunnel he fell from higher along the wall, and could see the metal bars mounted to the wall, into a slick ladder ascending to it. But this wasn't what caught his eye most, and what brought a cold dread to his bones. Not far from him, a large, dark creature was crouched. Its skin looked rough, a dark, muddied green, and it shined wetly in the dim light. It appeared to have large, blackish spikes erupting from its back, and its large eyes shined brightly, reflecting back a yellowish-white color. A 3-fingered hand was reaching hesitantly towards him, and that caused Keishiro to desperately try to move. "Kappa! Get away, Kappa!" he screamed, trying to shuffle backwards, gripping his own arm in pain as he curled in on himself. The creature hesitated, and its head tilted as it took in the boy. As Keishiro hesitantly looked towards its face, he was taken aback. Its face seemed confused, and maybe even a little insulted. "Not a kappa, I'm a turtle," it muttered sullenly, its voice much younger than Keishiro expected to hear. It wasn't that far off from his own, and reminded him of a young child, rather than an ancient mystical creature. For a moment, his pain was forgotten as he gazed at this confusing creature in front of him. "So, you're not gonna eat my guts?" Keishiro questioned, tilting his head at the creature. At this, he watched the creature retract in what appeared to be disgust, sticking its tongue out as though to cough something. It made Keishiro laugh, then wince, as he tried to sit himself up. At the grimace of pain, the turtle creature seemed to reach out as if to steady him, but hovered just away. It seemed nervous to even look at him, as though he were breaking some law by even interacting with him. Keishiro eventually managed to prop himself up against a wall, and then looked towards the nervous creature. Let's just erase that. Oh dear. Everything's fine. This is fine. "Are you hurt? You fell pretty far." The turtle kept quiet as he spoke. "Yeah, I think I broke my arm. I should have been looking where I was going. Can you climb back up with just one arm?" "No, I don't think I can. But I'm sure my friends will come get me. They saw me fall after all." At this, the creature looked agitated, and it looked up at the pipe tunnel. "Are you sure? You've been down here a little while. I haven't heard anyone come through." Keishiro looked up and listened. There were no sounds of people anywhere. He could hear the slight lapping of the water, his own breath, and the slightest breeze above. He groaned, letting his head thump back against the wall. "Okay, maybe not. My mom or Angel will notice I'm gone at some point and come find me, I'm sure." The turtle seemed unsure, looking nervously around, then back up. He seemed thoughtful. "I'd carry you up, but if you can't hold on to me, I don't think I can carry you and climb. Maybe if Dad finds us." "There's more of you guys?" Keishiro shouted excitedly, leaning forward into the turtle's face. He watched its snout snap shut, and a panicked look come across his face. He seemed to retract into himself, guarded, as though Keishiro himself had posed some sort of... "Hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you." Keishiro tried, but the turtle still seemed hesitant, looking back towards the water. He was going to leave him alone. Keishiro couldn't have that. He had no idea when anyone was looking for him. Thinking quickly, he thought of all his stories of fantasy creatures and came to a quick realization. "Hey, I promise I won't tell anyone about you guys. Please don't leave." The turtle stopped, looked from the water to Keishiro, and sighed. Promise? Keishiro nodded rapidly, then held his head with a groan as he rattled his brain more. My name's Yamada Keishiro. Do you have a name? Raphael. Keishiro beamed at his new friend. He found it kind of funny. He'd always wanted a pet turtle, and now he's got a friend that is a turtle. Ugh, we're like halfway through. The first time Raphael let out his loud trilling noise, Keishiro had startled. It was high-pitched and rattled around in his head, and made him cover his ears from the echo. The turtle had apologized and explained that the noise was to alert his father to where he was, to help guide him to them. Which was fine by Keishiro. The sooner he could get home, the sooner the pain would stop. Mom would make everything better. But as they sat there, lightly chatting, he began to notice the aggravation. Raphael seemed to be fidgety, nervous, and uncomfortable. A constant look towards any entrances, the water, anywhere a figure could appear. He let out that sharp chirp every 10 or so minutes, but they'd still yet to see anyone. Keishiro looked to the turtle and tilted his head. His pain had subsided to a dull ache now, and he was getting hungry. Maybe you can take me back to your home? Maybe your dad's too far to hear you. That way with him? Raphael rapidly shook his head, an aggravated look on his face. No, Kay, he'll come. Sometimes it just takes a while. The turtle, after a few failed attempts at saying his full name, had resorted to the shortened nickname. He didn't mind. It reminded him of the nickname his mother had given him. But as he watched his new, strange friend, he began to have a sinking. Raph, are you lost? The turtle's face seemed to darken significantly, in a way that Kay assumed must be a blush. Raphael's head shot towards him and attempted a menacing glare on his face. But now having gotten to know the small turtle boy, it came across more pouty than anything else. Kay couldn't help but help the snicker that escaped at the look. No, of course I'm not lost. I don't think you should move. Yeah, that's right. I think that if we move you, you'll make yourself worse. It's okay if you're lost, dude. I once wandered off so far I couldn't find anything familiar, and it took my mom hours to find me. At this, Raph seemed to curl in on himself and looked away from Kay. Kay knew the look of a guilty conscience and leaned towards Raphael, trying to get him to spill. The turtle sighs and speaks without looking back at them. I was supposed to be keeping an eye on my brothers while Dad was out finding supplies. Leo and I were, at least. But we heard someone in the tunnels, and I didn't want us to get discovered. So I pushed them all to hide in one of the graded off areas, but my shell was too big to squeeze through. While I was trying to find another way in, I slipped and fell back into the waterway. By the time I was able to surface, I was already super far away, and then I saw you fall, and yeah. Keishiro watched the turtle creature beside him, a feeling of guilt beginning to rise. If he hadn't fallen in here, maybe Raph could have gone back to find his brothers. I keep messing up, and now I don't even know where they are, or if they got found. I'm the biggest. I'm supposed to keep them safe. Oh no. Keishiro could see the way the snapping turtle looked, and the glistening tears in those golden eyes. He had to work fast or else he'd be dealing with a bawling Raph, and he wasn't sure he was ready for that uncomfortable of a situation. Hey, it's okay. We can find them together. My head doesn't hurt that much anymore, so I bet we can make sure they're okay, and then we can find your dad on the way. Raphael was rubbing a hand over his eyes at this point, desperate to get the tears to go away. He looked to the human boy, seeming to weigh his options, but then he nodded. Keishiro watched the turtle rise to his feet and stretch. As he did, he got a better look at his strange new friend. Raphael reminded him of the snapping turtles at the zoo, though a bit more spiky than. In the dimming light, he could make out his murky dark green skin tone and the dark brown shell. Keishiro snapped out of his daze as a hand reached towards him to help him stand. Keishiro was wobbly on his feet. With an arm around Raph's shoulders, he was able to stay upright. It took them a minute to get a good pace, but soon they were wandering deeper into the sewers. As they wandered through the labyrinth, Keishiro listened to the chirping calls that Raphael released. Similar to the ones he was releasing earlier, but this one had a slightly deeper tone. He figured this must be a call towards his brothers, rather than his father. As they continued down the corridors, Keishiro began to wonder if his family had noticed he was missing. Angel would certainly be out with her friends still, but his dad and mom were probably home by now. Were they also out, scanning the streets, calling for a boy who wouldn't answer? As his thoughts began to spiral, they were cut short by a deep, guttural sound. Raphael froze, seeming to take in the noise, before he let out another chirp. It was answered by a sound that reminded Keishiro of a chair screeching across the floor. He had no time to worry about it, though, as Raphael's eyes beamed, and he began dragging Keishiro along, emitting happy chirps that kept falling from his mouth. Then Keishiro heard him. At first, it was a skittering sound. Light footfalls in a rapid pace, followed by a sound that reminded him of playing with hot poker leaves. The sharp whipping sound of something snapping through the air. He had a brief thought of what Raphael's father must look like. An even larger snapping turtle? Perhaps with a scarred face? Or maybe he was a full-up kappa and Raphael was some strange hybrid. What turned the corner, though, was not at all what he was expecting. The figure was certainly tall, perhaps the tallest person Keishiro had ever seen. Where he had expected a wide muscular figure, he was met by a lean shape that was draped in a flowing yukata. The body was covered in brown and black fur, which was sleek and well maintained. Whiskers along a snout that gave an almost mustache-like appearance. 2 large, rounded ears sat atop its head, angled forward to find the young chirps. It was a rat, in the shape of a man. As the rat man's eyes focused in on them, Keishiro could see the emotions that flickered across them. Relief, confusion, and lastly, suspicion as those eyes focused in on him. The rat came to a halt just a foot or so away, eyes darting around to look for further human intruders. Raphael, didn't seem to understand or care about the sudden shift. Just fix this. Instead, throwing himself into the rat, and due to his grip on him, Keishiro as well. A giant rat. Keishiro was beginning to maybe he was still lying at the bottom of the basin. That this was all some fever dream he was experiencing at the end of his small life. There was no way he met a young kappa child whose father seemed to be the spirit Tetsuo. Chi-Chi! Raphael, the man, now confirmed as Raphael's father, spoke in a sense. Not what Keishiro was expecting from the opposing figure. I'm glad you are safe. Where were you? Leonardo said you got swept away in the current. Who is this child with you? I'm sorry, Chi-Chi. I was trying to keep the others hidden, but I slipped. This is Keishiro. He fell into the sewers from above. He's hurt, and I didn't think I could safely move him back up the ladder. The rat man now looked to Keishiro. Keishiro stiffened. He kept his eyes cast down as though not to offend From the corner of his eye, he could see the figure let out a sigh before he knelt down. Hello, child. What is your name? Yamada Keishiro. It's nice to meet you, Yamada. You may call me Splinter. I've got some first aid supplies here to make you feel better, and then I should take you above ground. Will you be able to find your way home from there? Yes, sir. Good. Let me take a look over you. The first aid didn't take long, and luckily it seemed to mainly be bruising. His mother always said he had excessive amounts of luck, and had yet to run out. It didn't take long, and soon Keishiro was being lifted into those fuzzy arms. He waved goodbye to Raphael, who he watched disappear down another corridor, where he saw the briefest hints of 3 other turtles. But then they were gone. Splinter moved swiftly and purposefully. It seemed as though he knew these sewers well, and it wasn't long before before they were in the same basin he had fallen into. Splinter had easily shifted Keishiro into one arm, easily ascending the ladder. Man, I used ease too many times in this sentence. Need to fix that. Soon, Keishiro was able to see the outside. The sun was barely visible on the horizon now. As Keishiro was placed down, Splinter turned to face him, kneeling down to his level. Now, Yamada, you must promise me something. You must never tell anyone about what you saw today. If you do, you will not only put yourself, but Raphael at risk. Do you understand? Keishiro nodded solemnly. Good. Now I shall keep an eye on you from the shadows until you make it home. Be safe, Keishiro. Keishiro nodded and gave a bow to the rat before turning and scampering off into the east. As he ran through familiar streets, he began to hear a familiar voice. Casey, where are you? The sudden presence of English and the familiar voice made Keishiro call out in joy and relief. Mom! And there we go. That's the end of that one.
Really good.
Welcome to Lucy is the April race.
I like this take on it. I appreciate that. I appreciate that Raph is able to be a little bit vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
The only little bit of like formatting that confused me a little bit was that Splinter asked for his name after Raph had already introduced him.
That's fair. I think it was more to get the full name.
In that case, maybe have Raph just introduce him as the nickname.
Here, I'm gonna edit that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think beyond that, like it sounded pretty good. I didn't pick up on any issues with tensing really. Everything kind of seemed like a pretty good present tense. Yeah, very few notes.
Thank you. I'm glad because I'm very excited to start posting these. But yeah.
And speaking of which, did you get your AO3 account approved, or is that still waiting?
I finally have it as Tia's story time on AO3, which I'm excited.
All right, yeah. So we'll post on there, and then do you also want to post on the Patreon?
Yes, though I might If I can't quite figure out how to do it, I might send it to you and just be like, help.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll post it there, and then I'll post it to the AO3 as well.
Of course. All right. Yeah, now that's perfect. Back to our thing. We don't have any community submissions, so that's the end of our episode. As always, you can find our writing on our Patreon and on AO3. Next week we'll be finishing up the Infernal Devices series with Clockwork Princess. It's gonna be a doozy.
I'm so excited.
And we'll see everyone next time.
Thanks for listening.